That was a clip from Game 5 of the 2017 World Series, which is the same season the Astros won and cheated. If you've ever watched sports before, you're probably wondering how a team can go from that to this.
One out hit by Alex Bregman and the booing for Yuli Gurriel. The gesture.
As you can see, the Astros are a prime example of a team who had their reputation ruined, which leads me to my question, why do reputations matter so much in sports? Alright, so today I'm here with one of my hometown friends, Ryan Hanna, who has been a baseball fan his whole life and has been very familiar with the Astros and what's going on. Alright, Ryan, so first I'd like to ask you, how long have you been an Astros fan?
I've been an Astros fan ever since I started playing baseball, since I was 4 years old.
Okay, so you and I both know that the Astros have experienced a lot of success in the past recent years, but that is also with the cheating scandal that happened in the 2017 season. So I'd like to ask you, how do you think that the Astros and their stars have sabotaged their reputation, if you even think that they have?
Well, I believe that all the young stars were starting to develop like a nationwide fan base for the Stros, but ever since the cheating scandal that erupted in 2017, I feel like as if H-Town fans will stay loyal, but their reputation nationwide will definitely decrease for at least a decade.
All right, and the last thing I'd like to ask you is it tough being an Astros fan? And also, where have you seen most of the hate occurring? And why do you think reputations are so important in sports? And what are the negative effects of cheating?
Well, I don't think being an Astros fan is difficult at all now that we actually show success before and even without cheating anymore. As you've seen in the past few seasons, even without the cheating, we can still achieve great numbers, but I feel like most of the hate comes obviously in the most populated baseball cities, like the Dodgers in LA or like the Yankees in New York, where they hate our guts now because they think it's just a bunch of young people who decided to cheat the system and went on a 17 World Series. And I feel like reputation in sports is always a big thing, even though pre-coronavirus fan bases meant everything to the team. And it's like what motivates the players to keep driving and playing good. So I feel like reputation is at least a good majority of a player's success.
All right, so what we can take away from the interview with Ryan is that he's a hometown Houston Astros fan and he still has hope for the team. But he has recognized that they've ruined their reputation and that they're nationally known as a fraud now. Also, like Ryan stated, most of the hate is coming from baseball-populated cities. So I wanted to dive deeper into finding out where this hate is coming from. To no surprise, because they ruined their reputation, social media has been having a field day with this issue. There have been many hate accounts, hate posts, and hashtags trending all over social media. For example, one account on Instagram called Beam the Astros posts a series of Astros players getting pegged in games. There have also been hashtags trending over Twitter, such as Trastros and hashtag Astros cheating scandal. There have also been a plethora of hate posts seen all over Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram. Not only did those fans have something to say, but former football player and now author Brian Mitchell had something to say about an athlete's reputation as a whole. He stated, quote-unquote, "The reputation that a pro athlete develops during his or her own athletic career will likely influence the number and type of post-athletic career options that are available." Not only are there well-formulated opinions on the issue, there are also statistics and facts to back it up. In a study done by FR24 News, after that 2017 season, the Astros skyrocketed into making up 20% of the most disliked teams in the MLB. I also had the chance to talk with Preston Spiegel, who is a baseball fanatic also from the city of Houston, but this interview was conducted over the phone because of COVID precautions.
All right. So the first question you asked was, have your feelings changed at all for the Astros since the 2017 scandal? I wouldn't say that, I've started to dislike them or I felt like any type of stigma against them. Cheating like this happens all the time, and I do mean all the time. All teams do it on all levels of baseball. It's just, something that happens. As someone who's played baseball for my whole life, it's just something that happens. Sign stealing happens all the time. Now, that doesn't mean I agree with them cheating, but, it hasn't changed the way I see, the Astros, mainly because, that is my hometown team. I am from Houston. So I do have a soft spot for them. So maybe there's a little bit of bias, but, they're not the only ones to get caught recently. I mean, the Yankees are under investigation right now for pretty much the same thing. So were the Red Sox after they won the World Series. So, I mean, it's just, like I said, something that happens. It's not like a rare occurrence. I mean, if you ask me, we were just the best at it. We being the Astros. And then for the second question, why do reputations play such a big role in sports? Well, mainly I would say the reputation not only holds a huge place in the fan base, which is, obviously a huge part of every sports team, but also just how they're seen in general by other teams and by the organization as a whole. So, for instance, if your team has a bad reputation and the reputation is maybe they're not a good team, well, not, whenever another team is playing them, they're going to go in thinking, oh, this team is bad, or, something like that. And it kind of just makes it easier for the team playing them. And then, let's say you're playing a team whose reputation is they're really good, they don't lose a whole lot of games. It might, scare you a little bit or something like that. But I think reputation is one of the biggest factors to making or breaking a team, I should say, in sports. Again, just like the fan base, that's huge. Teams with good fan bases, that reputation, playing in their stadiums always makes it a challenge. And that's on any level of sports. That's high school, college, major level. I mean, it always is a factor. Now, when they have a bad reputation like the Astros do now as cheaters, unless you're a fan, it creates an extremely negative stigma against them. And it just is like, well, they're cheaters. They don't, they're trash. They can't do anything by themselves without cheating, and really anything like that.
As Preston stated, there is now a very negative stigma surrounding the Houston Astros, and in an article by the USA Today, the author stated that the Houston Astros' reputation is ruined and that their future would be severely damaged. Also stated in this article is the fact that A.J. Hinch, which is the manager of the Houston Astros, would never be looked at the same, and that the Houston Astros' legacy will forever be tarnished, as stated by the commissioner, Ron Manfred. Adding on, I got the chance to talk with one of our baseball players and one of my good friends here at Texas Tech, Hade Key, and to him I asked the question, how would it feel to be a part of a team that has a reputation of cheating?
If you're on a team that has a reputation of cheating, anytime you do something good, people will assume that that you're cheating even if you aren't. And that feeling is something that you can't get away from as a player, because it's almost like all the hard work that you put in before the game and preparing and everything is like for nothing, because people just assume you're cheating and finding a way around everything.
As seen in these conversations, there's been a common trend talking about the fan base of a team in relation to their reputation. You build your fan base off of your reputation, and the fan base is one of the most important aspects of a team. That right there is why reputation in sports is important. Also, like Hade stated, if you mess up one time, that mess up will never leave you, which is why an athlete's reputation should be the most important thing they possess. Reputations in sports hold more power than you think, and I'm glad you joined today to figure out why.